Attention is needed for the national anthem.
Use of that to our advantage.
I wish you all the best.
Thank you very much.
You heard him. We want to bat. It's a beautiful Sunday morning in the city of Lagos, and you're welcome to the Tafawa Balewa Cricket Oval, venue for the West Africa Trophy. This is match 9, day 5. Nigeria versus Sierra Leone. Nigeria are the home team, Sierra Leone are the away side. My name is Oluwaseun Ajidagba. I've got the two captains here. Captain of Nigeria, Sylvester Okpe, and captain of Sierra Leone, George Edward Ngbegba. Our match referee, Tonye Timinadi, while our third umpire for today is Ibrahim Kabia from Sierra Leone. We are set for the toss of the coin.
There's the head, there's the tail. Nigeria tossing.
Heads.
Head is the call. Head, you have it.
And so, George Edward Ngbegba gets another one over Nigeria. The last time they faced on October 5, 2023, a lovely Thursday, you won the toss. And today again, you are winning the toss. What are you doing?
We're going to have a bat first today.
What informed this decision to bat first?
Well, the outfield is wet and the surface today looks hard and it looks like a batting surface also. So we want to try and make use of that to our advantage.
I wish you all the best.
Thank you very much.
You heard him. We want to bat, and that's the decision of the captain. I'll now talk to the captain of Nigeria, Sylvester Okpe. You lost the toss. If you had won the toss, what would you have done?
We would have batted first as well, but all the same, nothing changes.
What do you want to restrict your opponent to?
To the nearest minimum we can.
We want to restrict them to the barest minimum, and that's what he has said. Sylvester Okpe, captain of Nigeria, they are 4 out of 4, while for Sierra Leone, they are yet to taste victory. Will today be the day for them to get a victory? Time will tell. The die is cast, the stage is set, and we are set for the big game between Nigeria versus Sierra Leone, a West African derby.
That's it from the middle. It's Ajidagba who was there at the toss, and it's Sierra Leone who won that one and elected to bat. It's expected to be a crunch one amongst these two nations. And with me in the comms box today, I've got big names. You're going to hear many voices this morning. Odeku Shenwu is with us, ex-international, priced himself high, didn't have the time to do too many, retired early. Well, did he really announce that retirement? We would hear from him later. Also with us is Tayo Showole, Shenwu Ajidagba, and Tamno John. The voices you'll be hearing today as the players line up for the national anthem of both countries. We tell you what, cricket between these two, he's got plenty of experience, and I'm sure Shenwu Odeku will tell you his first experience in Freetown at the King Tom Cricket Oval, where he had it really tough. But again, that's what we see. Umpires at the center today. We see that David Odiambo from Kenya. We have Ibrahim, who is the third umpire from Sierra Leone, and Mr. Wale Adekoya, tournament referee, Teminade Toyin. Other umpires in this tournament, experienced men, Enesi Dairu, Olumide Olutokun, and Taiwo Olabinwonu. Taiwo Oladunje also in the park, and the anthem comes. That's the national anthem for Nigeria. And on to the Sierra Leone anthem. So are you bringing up the team list yet after this? Huh? And we need as much information as possible. That's the Sierra Leone anthem. Proudly, you can see as the players exchange pleasantries. Captain Sylvester Okpe will lead the Nigerian team today. Sitting out will be Isaac, Danladi Isaac, Ademola Onikoyi. 12th man will be Prosper Useni for Nigeria. Young man Joshua Asia will be donning the colors this morning for the first time in this tournament. And we expect plenty of surprises in this one. As the Nigerian team, led by Captain Sylvester Okpe, Daniel Ajekun, Akere Sesele, who had the first call yesterday, who is back on today. Asia Joshua, Isaac Okpe, Karim, the flying man I call him. He's been taking amazing catches. Peter Aho, Ronshewen Sulaimon, Sheson Adedeji, Taiwo Mohamed, and Udekwechi Emele. It's Useni Prosper will be 12th man. The Sierra Leone lineup again will be led by Captain Jordan Geba, experienced Abbas Bla, Aruna K. Nise, Chenon Ba, George Sise, Ibrahim Kamara, the under-19 captain John Bangura, experienced campaigner Lansana Lamin, Miniru Paka, left Ama, Raymond Koka, Yegbo Jalon, and Moses Williams. That's the team from Sierra Leone. Again, just to remind us, the toss, Sierra Leone and opted to bat is a new surface. I wonder what that is all about. The umpires also cuddling there. Some shared laughters and sometimes that's a record on decision making as we go along. The Nigerian team taking the field. You have there the leading run scorers of this tournament. Hamza Khan, the man who's gotten 130 runs from 4 innings, a decent strike rate of 107 with a highest score of 59. Ronshewen Sulaimon for Nigeria, 106 from 4 innings. Amazing strike rate there, 135. Daniel Ajekun, Obed Harvey of Ghana, 98 and 80 in that top 4. I'm sure things will pan up differently at the end of today. Leading wicket taker there, Obed Harvey, 9 wickets with economy rate of 4.75. Isaac Okpe, interesting economy rate there by Michael Agbe, Udekwe Chiemele. Perhaps things will change for better for him this morning. umpires take the field. David Odiambo and Wale Adekoya. That's a new wicket. Not been used through this tournament. A bit of crack and grass on the wicket. Let's hope it brings some life to the batters. It's interesting, plenty of history between these teams, Nigeria and Sierra Leone. Both teams have played between them 8 T20 internationals, with Nigeria dominating, winning 7 of those, and Sierra Leone winning just 1 of those encounters. The only victory for Sierra Leone was in the 5-match series here in Lagos at the Unilag Cricket Oval in 2021, 19th of October. It's Alusin Toure and Captain Jordan Jegba who will dictate the pace for Sierra Leone. Opening the bowling for Nigeria is Chiemele from the Court of Appeal end of the TBS Cricket Oval. Joining me this morning, my dear friend Oluwaseun Ajidagba. You're welcome to the Comes Box again.
Thank you very much, Endurance of Fame. Super excited to be here for the West Africa Trophy, proudly sponsored by DAFABet. We also want to extend our profound gratitude to all the sponsors, SPORTSBOX, Sparkle, Lagos State Government, and the Nigerian Cricket Federation. This is day 5, match 9. Nigeria versus Sierra Leone. They met on the 5th of October here at the same venue.
On the mark there. Interesting to see Jordan Jegba taking the lead for Sierra Leone. Tough block. Never afraid to go up front against any bowler. He's been on social media, strong enough, understands the game, knows what is required of his team, and leads from the front. It's a wide ball, wide delivery. Chiemele hoping for some sound, not sure. A wicket keeper did not support that appeal.
And Endurance of Fame, Chiemele Udekwe also made history at this tournament, becoming the first player to win the player of the match, and that was against Rwanda.
This time pitch is short. Jegba defending that on the back foot.
Ngeba's decision to bat first was attributed to the surface, and he hoped to score some considerable runs.
No easy call. More dot balls. Just 1 run on the board. Jegba will have to think through this one. Plenty of hard work here against this Nigerian consistent bowling unit. He's got the ability. He just needs to back himself in Jegba.
And then it must be said, Ngeba has not had the tournament he envisaged. Maybe today might just be the day he will come through in the batting crease.
He tries to go big, but again, Sierra Leone will be happy to take another one. Joshua Asia, first time featuring in this tournament. Exciting chap. They call him the joker of the team. Smiles a lot. Yes, on the mark this time. Down to fine leg. Udeke walks like the rock star. Call him the bouncing dude. Liking him for Mako Masha with height, pace and bounce.
Two umpires for today. Umpire Wale Adekoya from Nigeria. And umpire mentor David Odiambo from Kenya. So much experience.
Big swing and misses this one. Taruna was on strike.
Did they change the jersey number? Absolutely, I think so. This is now Alison Toure is not playing. Of the first over, Sierra Leone 3 runs for loss of no wickets. At this stage, if it goes like this, the score after 20 overs will be 60, which is paltry runs in a T20 overs game.
It's Peter Hall who will continue from the pavilion end of the TBS over. This time he will be up against the captain, Ngeba.
Peter Hall loves to play Sierra Leone. And he'll be hoping for mother luck today. He's down at the bowling order in terms of wickets taken.
And he starts with a wide. Clearly, you know what you want to see from this paceman, the Edo Express.
Leading the bowling is Oberavi from Ghana, 9 wickets he has. Following closely is Isaac Okwe from Nigeria, 8 wickets. Michael Abuaye from Ghana, 7 wickets. Same as Chiemele Udekwe and Kevin Kabari Irakoze.
Brilliant piece of fielding. And on the mark, George.
Endurance, interestingly, the first runs, the Sierra Leoneans will be scoring off their bats.
Full toss, hits this one through. Brilliant piece of fielding there by Taiwo Mohammed. Aruna on the mark. Perhaps some distraction. Geba backing away from that delivery.
Nigerians, you have always emphasized on teams taking advantage of power play. We've not seen much of that. Can you attribute it to the bowling and the fielding of the teams? The batters not really applying?
Run out opportunity. Will he hit? And he hits.
Oh my word!
Not what you want if you're a Sierra Leonean. Unnecessary. Unrequired. What a way. Captain George would blame himself for this. He could say no, but he dared the fielders who have had time practicing the whole week, the whole month, on hitting one stump. You don't want to do that at this level of cricket. You have to find the gaps. Ajidagba, just what you said, just when we thought Njeba was trying to build an innings and take his time, he departs, been run out. Brilliant piece of fielding once again by the Nigerian side.
Great risk taking, risk paying off. Still in the second over, already one wicket is down, and that's the wicket of the man leading the line for Sierra Leone, George Edward Ngbeba.
Daniel Ajeku, amazing direct hit. Njeba wasn't happy about that.
Absolutely, but it's the reality.
Ibrahim Kamara. Would join Aruna. What a way. His bad run continues, Captain George. The man who's quietly been trying to find some form. Another wide.
The team needs to cut down on the extras.
Plenty of life on this wicket.
And you mentioned the departed captain who is with the teammate at the pavilion.
Scanty questions there by the fielders.
This falls short of what he achieved when they faced Nigeria on Thursday, where he faced 8 balls and scored 9 runs, which included 1-4, with a strike rate of 112.50. But today falls short.
They call him the Edo Express. I call him the quiet operator. This man, Aho Peter, just consistently dots away. Still struggling to find our rhythm today. But the danger campaigner anytime, any day.
And when you call him the quiet operator and some persons call him Edo Express that travels morning and evening, I think I should call him the Guinness World Record holder.
He flicks this one this time. Would get a couple. Akere coming round, ensuring 2 only is what they get. And it's end of over number 2. The score is 9-1. With Captain Geba departing earlier through a fantastic run out initiated by Daniel Ajeku.
Discussions going here and there. Shesan Adedeji, Isaac Okpe, and Captain Sylvester Okpe. And then the two batters, Kamara and Aruna, also having their own discussion. I'm sure one of the many things they'll be talking about is putting runs on board and building partnership, which is usually required in a game of cricket.
Earlier on your screen, you can see umpire David Ondiabo wanting this game to progress quickly, so slightly slower. Good speed, bounce and pace. Chiemele
coming from the Court of Appeal end.
For those who don't know who Malcolm Masha is, from the modern days, you can use the Google, you can use the YouTube. He's one of the finest West Indian bowlers. Trust me, when you see his height, it's not far from Chiemele. And that speed and bounce is what you get. Talks him in a bit. Somebody will have to respond positively from this Sierra Leonean side.
And endurance to amplify your thought about how quick Chiemele is. You need to see where the wicketkeeper is standing. That says a lot about the pace that comes with it.
Fuller length, the will scramble for one run out opportunity, misses again. It's Joshua Asia.
And you saw what Daniel did. That was Daniel in the Lions then. Had to use his body to stop that ball from going for an extra run, or runs as it were.
That's another risk taken by the Sierra Leonean batters. No answer. No answer whatsoever. Leaving that one. Aruna.
And endurance, you mentioned Aruna changing batting strategy from Captain George Edward Ngbeba. Aruna in the first game against Nigeria came in as batter number 8, faced 8 balls and scored 3 runs. But the captain this time around said, Aruna, you and I are opening the batting.
Tries to pull that one, didn't get hold of it properly, but manages a single down fine leg. One would wonder what strategy the Sierra Leoneans have put in place. Perhaps hoping to slow things down later, to accelerate later on. They have to think through this one. The last ball of the third over, Chiemele to Ibrahim Kamara. Full toss. This time hits it through mid-wicket. They would take a couple. Comfortable 2. Something decent to cheer about. It's end of the third over and it's 13 for 1.
Aruna Kainesi faced 8 balls and scored 4 runs, 50% strike rate. Ibrahim Kamara faced 4 balls and scored 3 runs. Not a bad statistics from him. The opening bowlers from both ends for Nigeria are yet to get wickets. Peter Aho and Chiemele Udekwe. And then there seems to be a change from the pavilion end. Peter Aho be rested And the second highest wicket taker at this tournament, Isaac Okwe, the captain of Government College by the Old Boys Cricket Club, will be bowling from the pavilion end.
It's Isaac to Aruna. Here he swings big. Ball in the air. Brilliant running and well taken by Ronshawe. He gets a wicket from his first delivery. Isaac seems to have been favored in this tournament. Anytime he picks up the ball, he gets a wicket.
Absolutely. And we've always talked about the need for communication in a game of cricket. There will have been a bit of collision between the wicketkeeper and Akere Isesele, but because there was proper communication and Akere also saw that the wicketkeeper was in a better position to pick that ball owing to the gloves on his hand, he allowed him to do it. But the technique was brilliant.
The league table in front of you, tournament table. It's Nigeria who's dominating with a total of 8 points, followed by Ghana, and Rwanda, East African invitees, and Sierra Leone at the bottom.
Andy, John Bangura comes in, the wicketkeeper, but the captain, George Edward Ngbeba, said something very instructive yesterday after the game against Ghana. He said, while we are concerned about the losses, this is a learning curve for us because we are using this tournament to prepare for the African Cricket Association competition that is coming up in December, all other things being equal. But it doesn't take away the fact that we want to fight back and get results that are positive.
One of Sierra Leone's finest, John Bangura, will try to continue on this ship sailing towards a better performance for Sierra Leone. It's John Bangura versus Isaac Okwe. First one, and he goes this time, dabs it straight to gully.
And Nigerians, to put it into proper context, John Bangura was the brightest player for the first game that they lost to Nigeria by 63 runs, but he put up his own performance by scoring 36 runs off 48 balls.
They will run that one really hard. Ibrahim wanting that strike. The opportunity given and taken. Yes, Ajidagba, you can't take anything away from that young man, John Bangura. He's got the ability. He understands what is required at every point. And I look forward to seeing more runs from him this tournament. Ibrahim will have to contend with this one. Shot. Swings and misses.
And Nigerians, John Bangura too loves to play Nigeria. At under 19 at Division 2 qualifiers in Abuja on October 4, which was a Tuesday, he was a menace, scoring 89 runs, not out. But for the brilliance of Prosper Hussein, who is not playing today, it was a game that the Sierra Leoneans wanted to get over Nigeria, but they eventually got that when they went to the tournament in Dar es Salaam, Tanzania for the qualifier Division 1. It was a sweet victory for them, beating Nigeria by 9 wickets.
Trust me, anytime Sierra Leone will have to play Nigeria, a victory for Sierra Leone is big and well appreciated in Freetown and the whole of Sierra Leone.
Gone.
Interesting times here for Isaac Okwe, who's added another wicket. And it's end of the 4th over. The score 14-3. And it's Ibrahim who departs. On that note, we welcome one of the biggest ones in Nigerian history. Mr. Seun Odeku will be joining Seun Ajidagba on the mics.
Endurance, I thought you would have allowed me to do the proper introduction of this great superstar. Seun Odeku, former Nigerian international, former player for King's College Old Boys, former player for Obafemi Awolowo University, a gold medalist at Nuga Games, playing for Government College Ibadan Old Boys Cricket Club, former captain of that club, and currently is one of the selectors for the national team of Nigeria. My singular honor, pleasure, and delight to welcome to the commentary box one of the finest cricketers to ever come out of this great country that was founded in 1960. Seun Odeku, the microphone locates you.
Thank you very much, Seun Ajidagba. Thank you, Endurance. It's a privilege to be here today. It's a wonderful day to be on the cricket field, again at TBS, watching this very, very important game. I think we can say that without any doubt that Sierra Leone and Ghana have been Nigeria's biggest rivals over the years, and witnessing another game today it's a wonderful thing. It's interesting to note how far cricket has come in this region, and where we are today organizing tournaments of this nature. So again, it's a privilege to be here.
Now, coming from the Court of Appeal, new bowler Taiwo Mohammed taking over from Chemele Udekwe. We are going to definitely milk this busy cricketer today, and he'll be sharing experiences of the games he's had with Sierra Leone and Ghana. I know Odeku never played against Rwanda, but he'll be telling us his experiences playing for the national team of Nigeria.
Thank you very much. Interestingly, my debut tournament was on this ground against Sierra Leone, Ghana and Gambia in what used to be the quadrangular series then between amongst the four countries. And I remember, that's how I made my debut here in 2001. And I can never forget, Nigeria ended up winning Sierra Leone in the final. So I think it's stars are aligning, I would say. Yeah.
Under which coach? And for how many years did you play for the national team of Nigeria?
I played from 2001 up until, I believe, 2000. And my last tournament was in Malaysia. And I can't quite figure out that, but I had to focus on other things. And, I still always feel like I did not give it everything. Maybe I retired too early, but, I'm always happy that I got the privilege of representing this country and playing such a beautiful sport.
Absolutely. That was a brilliant shot there for 4. John Bangura.
I would say the timing on that stroke was very good. Flicking that ball, coming onto his pads from Taiwo Mohammed, and just putting it at mid-wicket. I think Taiwo needs to, the bowler needs to straighten his line a bit, just go off the pads. Bangura is a class act. He's not going to miss out on those. And we can see he's the leading run scorer for the Sierra Leonean team, so we know why.
White ball as declared by the main umpire, Wale Adekoya. 4.4 overs, 19 runs for loss of 3 wickets.
Yeah, I think just looking at the approach Bangura has adopted, is clearly going to be aggressive today. I think he may have made up his mind that there's no point, hanging around and just, attacking the bowling. Just as I said it, we could see the way, he's walked out to the bowler again. I think his approach today is to just dominate the bowlers, stay on top of them, and we'll see how far that takes him. Yeah.
Absolutely. Brilliant thoughts coming from Seun Odeku. Taiwo Mohammed still coming from the Court of Appeal end. His first over for today. And I'll be asking Shiwandeku, there's been some considerable level of development that has happened in Nigerian cricket. 5 overs gone, 19 runs for loss of 3 wickets. John Bangura and Raymond Coker still batting. Odeku, this is quite commendable from the Cricket Federation. We've seen Sheson Adedeji, Sylvester Okpe, Isaac Okpe, Taiwo Mohammed go to South Africa for an academy where they spent about 1 month, and it has rubbed off on how they have played.
Yeah, I think it's a commendable move, and exposure to test playing countries always helps. I recall I have the same opportunity where I had to go to South Africa in the Plascon Bowling Academy then for a week, and I can't begin to tell you the kind of relationships I built from there and how that also impacted my cricket. So it's always good. I recall the then former fast South African test bowler Mfeneko Ngami was the one who took us in those tournaments, and just listening to a test bowler telling you how it's done, there's always a difference. Yeah.
Absolutely brilliant. I'm sure you're going to enjoy a lot from Oluwaseun giving you expose about his cricket journey, career. We'll be talking to him more on what led to him playing cricket as against football or other sports, and was it a wise decision for him to take to cricket? A loud appeal, but David Odiambo is uninterested.
I think just from my view here, that looked like it was pitching a outside leg stump, and it's always very difficult for us to get, for bowlers coming from over the wicket, to get an appeal decision for a left-handed batsman, LBW decision. That ball seems like it just pitched outside leg stump.
Excellent. Raymond Coker yet to get off the mark. And Shiwandeku, you are an all-rounder, but I must quickly share this interesting stats with you, that of the bowlers who are topping, Obedave, Isaac Okpe, Michael Abuaye, Chemele Udekwe, Irakoze. Only Chemele Udekwe of those 5 has had a maiden. What do you make out of this? Only Chemele has a maiden of these 5 bowlers.
Well, I think that's the nature of the T20 game. It's fast-paced. A maiden is almost it's almost criminal in T20 nowadays. So you have to look for the runs one way or the other. So it's not surprising, I would say. I think maybe Chiemele, because of his pace, then I can understand. I think the young man is clearly the quickest bowler in this tournament. There will be maybe a few that could come close, but I think from what we've seen is clearly faster than most of the other bowlers. Yeah.
That was a missed opportunity from Raymond Coker. That was a no ball as declared by the main umpire David Odiambo, but he failed to take advantage of that opportunity.
Yes, he did, and I think Isaac is an old fox. I think one of the things is added to his bowling, and maybe that's the testimony to that is that he's second on the wicket list, maybe topping right now because he's gotten 2 in this game. Is because it's brought in a lot of variation. He's now a thinking bowler, as we say. It's not just his young days. It was all about pace, and now I think he's brought in so many variations. He's reading the game better, and we can see the impact of that in the wickets column. Yeah.
More importantly, that he also sees someone like you as a mentor, and you are together up close and personal by virtue of playing for the same club. You've captained the club before. You've played for Nigeria. You've seen 9900 means nothing to you, and so you can admonish him on what he needs to do to become better. Each time I see him, one name comes to mind from South Africa, I used to liken him to A.B. de Villiers because he's got that quality and that height.
Yes, is definitely a lot of it, I must say, is due to his own hard work and his exposure. You talked about him going to South Africa for a month. I think that's just a priceless exposure, playing for a provincial side, practicing with them day in, day out, watching some of the best cricketers in the world. And I think just before this tournament, Isaac was also in Uganda for about a month, where he's played for a club side there. And we all know that the level of cricket in Uganda is clearly on the rise, as we know. And so I believe those two things, come. And then when you put together that it's probably one of the most, if you look at this Nigerian team, which is a young side, Isaac and Onikoyi are the most experienced in this team. So put all that together, I think what you see is a seasoned bowler, someone who is coming into his own right now. And he's also within that age bracket where we believe that most cricketers peak. And so we expect nothing else from him and nothing short of what he's doing right now. Yeah.
I'm loving this conversation with Seun Adeku, Taiwo Mohammed.
Oh, another wicket down.
What do you make out that bowling? That was sensible. Looked like he was coming with so much pace, just slowed the thing a bit.
That's what we talk about, and I think it's clear from the posture of the Sierra Leonean batsmen today that they've decided that they're not going to sit down and let the bowling get on top of them. And I figure the Nigerian team has also kind of quickly figured that out, and the variations is then getting the wickets. So as from a batting perspective, you have to be calculated, even if you choose to be aggressive. You have to be deliberate about picking certain balls, and I think maybe the Sierra Leonean team will go back and look at those and see that maybe it's something they can do better. Yeah.
Out goes Raymond Coker. Definitely this is not what they envisage. They want to give it a fight, but at this stage, going into the 7th over, 21 runs for loss of 4 wickets. The projected score will be 68, and the current run rate is 3.41. They need to jack it up. You have to also give credit to the bowling of Nigeria and the fielding. They are not making it easy for the batters to have a field day.
Absolutely. I think there's the home advantage to it, and I think also the Nigerian team, it's been on a very impressive trajectory. A lot of these young guys came up together through the under-19 team, and you can see that they almost know each other. There are spoken words you have in cricket, where when you have your teammate bowling, you almost have a very good idea where the ball is going to end up. What his strengths are, what his areas of improvement are, and I think that's beginning to reflect in the quality of play we're seeing from these young guys under the leadership of Coach Tikolo also. I think it's good things await the Nigerian team in the future.
I will ask you about Tikolo, what you make of Tikolo's impact on these boys. But in comes Yegbe Jallo.
Fun fact, Ajidagba, which West African country played cricket first? Whoa. Oh, another one. Another wicket, trying to put that into long off, but he didn't get a good hold of it. And mid off, Isesele comes in and takes a wonderful catch. I'm made to understand from the guys in Ado State that Isesele has one of the best, safest hands in cricket, and that's we're beginning to see that
But it doesn't take away the fact that your hands are also very safe, Shehu.
Well, those days. Yeah, those days. Yeah.
But what was your best fielding position?
Oh, I liked fielding at point and covers. I felt, to me, the best part of the game was the fielding, because everybody got to field. Batting is fun, bowling is fun, but everybody gets to field. So at some point in time, you have to develop a love for it. And I loved being involved, being always around the bat, trying to save runs. My role model there was Jonty Rhodes and A.B. de Villiers. And those were guys I looked up to. I always had dreams. I wake up to dreams of taking one-handed flying catches at point. And I was, luckily for me, I was able to take a few of those, yeah.
And of course, Sheun, you brought aesthetics to fielding also, the way you slide, you pick ball, you turn. It's always a beauty to behold. And we'll ask you more. You mentioned guys from outside.
Another wicket. Yes.
Another wicket!
It's 2 in 2. Is that a hat trick?
It's an hat trick! The first player at this tournament to get an hat trick.
That's... It's 3, yeah. You're absolutely right, Ajidagba. The first ball of the over was the slower ball, and I was popped onto short mid-wicket. The second ball was a lofted drive straight to mid-off, and now the third batsman, which is Miniru
Paka.
has just played it, popped it up straight to long on. I think I would question the batting attitude there because, these are wickets that were, I wouldn't say they were initiated by the bowler's brilliance. They're more of the batsman's errors, and especially when you find yourself in this situation with 6 down, I think, you have to be more careful as you approach your batting. Yeah.
Brilliant from Taiwo Mohammed, coming from the Court of Appeal end. We are yet to have a feel of the spinners. The pace bowlers are ripping through the batting lineup of the Sierra Leoneans. And Miniru Paka, for those who don't know, October 19, 2021 at the Unilag Cricket Oval, which was the 6th bilateral series between Nigeria and Sierra Leone. Sierra Leone beat Nigeria by 6 wickets, and Miniru Paka won the player of the match. The first player to win at that competition. Nigeria were stunned in front of their home fans, and Miniru Paka has to depart for no run.
I think the approach by the Sierra Leonean team has been to be aggressive. I don't know whether that's been, looking like it's been unsuccessful so far. I would think that maybe the mentality in the team is that I haven't lost 4. Let's come out and be positive. And maybe that's not been executed properly in what we're seeing today. My expectations are, the team then needs to go back and just settle in, push around for singles, and then take it from there. Maybe between now and the 10th over. That would be my advice. Someone who's played the game.
Lansana Lamine, former captain of the Sierra Leonean national team, comes in. They are 21 for 6. Odeku, can I just plead with the Nigerian bowlers that people have gone to church and a lot of people are coming to TBS and they still want to meet games. Not like a boxing game that ended in the first round. This is looking more like, if it continues this way, they might not play up to 50 runs, but people want to come and see this game.
Well, cricket, like we say in Nigeria, cricket is not biscuits, anything can happen. We've seen situations like this that I recall that I've been in teams where we've had teams down for 21 for 6, and then someone comes in and, just plays a century and takes the team to 100 and something. So maybe, your wish can still come true. I think what the team needs to do is just, apply themselves a bit more, be a bit more defensive, especially considering the wicket situation, and just push around. Yeah.
Odeku, I've always waxed lyrical about you, but please, I need you to do something to Taiwo Mohammed. How do you explain having a maiden over that included an hat trick?
Triple.
Please give him the opportunity to smell his flowers.
Yes. I think it's never easy to take a wicket at this level, and having 3 in 3 consecutive balls, it's every bowler's dream, and making it a maiden even just adds additional flavor to it. So fantastic. I think the only thing I would say is, it's always more beautiful when they're on forced errors, in the sense that as a bowler, the kind of wicket you want to take is where the batsman has no option but to go out, where it nicks it off. I feel like the Sierra Leoneans have had a big part to play in some of these wickets that have gone for Tyrone. Yeah.
7 overs gone, 21 runs for loss of 6 wickets. John Bangura and Lansana Lamin batting. Isaac Okpe coming from the pavilion end.
Oh, great shot by Bangura, just dapping it down to third man. You can see the class coming from Bangura, and clearly why he's their top scorer. And is being able to, in spite of how the team has been performing, I think one positive thing has been Bangura's batting in this tournament.
And Sheon, get ready after this ball to tell me that shot you adore so much that when you sleep and wake, you can always play that shot. Which of those shots of yours do you love the most? Maybe the opportunity has presented itself now. Your best shot.
So growing up, I think I used to play the late cut very well, but as I became more mature in the game and I tended more towards a purist, I just adored the covers drive. And I could sleep, eat and drink covers drive any day. Yeah.
No wonder you like to feel at covers and points. Great way to start for Isaac Okpe. After this over, you will get to hear another voice that will be joining Oluwaseun Odeku, and yours truly will be stepping down.
Just before you go, Ajidoba, I asked the question, which country in West Africa was the first to play cricket? Interesting question.
The question is for me or for the next person who is coming to join you?
For you.
Can I phone a friend? Can I ask the audience?
Yes, you can.
Or you can give me a 50-50.
You have all the options open to you.
Let me rack my brain and I come up with something. The first country to play cricket in West Africa.
Let me give you a clue. Maybe that's a 50-50. One of them is the two options. Both teams are playing today.
Sierra Leone.
Good answer.
I thought as much. Thank you for that brain teaser.
Woo! Wonderful leg cutter. The batsman. Now that's the kind of wicket you want to take as a bowler.
Yeah.
Leaving the batsman mesmerized. That ball just reduced the pace, rolled his wrist over it, and it landed on the leg stump, came back and just cleaned out the off stump. Fantastic bowling by Isaac Okpe. Again, we talk about his thinking, and that's been evidenced by that wicket. It's 3 wicket apiece for the two bowlers. As we look at it, Isaac Okpe is clearly topping the wickets column now with 10 wickets at an average of 5.8 and an economy of 4.83. Fantastic bowling, I would say, by Isaac, and it's been wonderful watching him bowl. Yeah.
And you have to say that the name that you see on your screen coming in second, former Ghanaian captain Obed Harvey, a player of Government College Ibadan Old Boys Cricket Club, is in the hunt for the player of the tournament. Is in everywhere on the batting list. Sheon is 4th on the batting list. In bowling is 2nd. Even in fielding is amongst the guys. So you find him almost everywhere. This is not what you want to see from Sierra Leone. No player has gotten into double digits.
Absolutely not what you want to see. 22 for 7 in 7.5 overs for a 20-over game is clearly not what you want to see. We're hopeful that we can still get more runs to make it a very interesting game. Talking about Obed is a very close friend of mine, class act, fantastic cricketer. Obed scored 180 on this pitch for GCI a while back. Wonderful
Against which
left-hand.
team?
I believe that I can't quite remember which team, but Obed, you know, I've
But I
always
guess
known Obed.
somebody should be able to give us the team he scored that runs against.
We could get that at.
No, I will give you an incline of who that person is.
Okay.
All right, we've come to the end of the 8 over, 22 runs for loss of 7 wickets. Yours truly, Oluwaseun Ajidagba, will take a bow for former under-19 captain of Nigeria, former player of GCI, former player of Ibadan Metropolitan Cricket Club, and one of the bowlers that was available when Obed Harvey scored that amazing runs here at the Tafawa Balewa Cricket Oval. It's my singular honor, pleasure, and delight to leave the microphone for 2 players who have represented this country. Tayo Showale, you should be able to tell Oluwaseun Odeku the game Obed Harvey scored those runs. You were part of that game. You're on the opposing side.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for the introduction, Sheon. I don't quite remember this event that you mentioned.
Selective amnesia, I would say.
Yeah. Afternoon, Sheon. Always a pleasure to watch cricket at the resplendent Tafawa Balewa Cricket Square Oval. Great to see international cricket back in the traditional home of Nigerian cricket.
Absolutely, Tayo. And good morning to you again. And I'm sure you've brought in a bit of the weather from Abuja for us in Lagos today. It's good to be commentating with you. Tayo, you and I go way back. We're friends. And so I'm sure this is going to be a very interesting conversation. Yeah.
Absolutely.
What's your take on the situation the Sierra Leoneans find themselves in? 23 for 7 in 8.2 overs. What's your take on it?
If I'm being honest, it's a bit disappointing, especially if you're a neutral, especially if you're here to watch amazing cricket this Sunday morning. But it also just speaks to maybe a lack of regular cricket that you can sort of apply to all of the teams that are participating. Maybe less for Rwanda and more for the West African nations. You want this team to be playing more cricket. I think that this is a sign.
Absolutely, Tayo. I think without a doubt the talent is there. 6 runs by Blah. Playing a lofted drive off Taiwo Mohammed. He timed that well. And I think that kind of alludes to the point I was going to make, that clearly there's a lot of talent in this region. And we all know that no matter how long you spend in the nets, playing in the center is always a different experience. It helps you a lot to get a feel of the game. And I feel like that's what the West African teams need right now. So this tournament couldn't have come at a better time. It's 10 games. Each team is going to play 9 games. And I think that as we go along, we will see more and more of the teams. So yes, indeed, yeah, to your point. Another wonderful shot. Is this going to be out? Oh, yes. That's straight down the throat of Isesele at mid-off. I think one shot too many, I would say, Taya.
Yeah, and that brings us to 29 for 8 in 8.5. Yeah, he hit a 6. I think he felt like he was ready. But really, I think it's a case of when you're down,
out swinging.
Yeah, just go out swinging.
Like a famous coach used to say, who is down? Need fear no for.
Yes. But I don't know that there's any chance we get to a respectable total here. It looks like it's going to be early afternoon for everyone.
Well, going by statistics, I would say you are 100% right. A part of me still wants the Sierra Leoneans to come out and push this total at least to a respectable one. What would you say is respectable from this point in your own view? Still about 12 overs to go, 11, 12 overs to go. what would you consider respectable? I think every situation presents an opportunity.
Yeah, I think that from here on out, they should look to add 80, 90 to the score.
Yeah.
Difficult to do tall order with only 2 wickets in the shed. But yeah, just under 100 will be respectable from here.
I agree with you totally. I doubt that with the strength of the Nigerian bowling side, especially when you're bowling against one sitting bowler and someone else, a tail ender on the other end. So we're looking at beyond Bangura. I don't know the batting prowess of the remaining batsmen, but playing number 10 and 11 doesn't testify a lot about your batting skills. Right?
Yeah, it really doesn't. And if I were to be batting there as John is, one of the things that I would do is to farm the strike, make sure that I'm facing most of the balls.
Absolutely.
Getting the other person off strike. I think what we might see is that he would just decide to go for it. Looks like the Nigeria captain has also envisaged that, and they set the field. So there's 2 people on the offside fence. There's really only 2 people in the inner circle as well, in front of square.
I think the idea is, I've looked at the field now, the idea is to open it up, give him that 1 run. They also want to face bowl to George as opposed to Bangura in order to wrap up the game as quickly as possible. And that's just the plan. It's worked out perfectly.
It's last ball of the over, so this is actually a good single for him to take.
Very, very good point. Yeah. And like you said, I think for me as a cricketer, every opportunity presents itself. If I were John Bangura, I would, look to use this opportunity to take over the game, as we've seen some very famous cricketers do. Wide ball going down the leg side, or is that a no ball?
Is that complacency I smell there?
I will give Isaac more credit. But that's a no ball. Is that a front foot no ball? I suspect it is, and that's a free hit to the Sierra Leonean team. Ooh. Run out chance there.
Tough chance.
Although it's a free hit, I think sometimes people forget that they can get
run out.
They can get run out. So I think it's always good to have that at the back of your mind. I suspect if Cecily had picked up that ball, it would have been a very tight one. Yeah.
So let's talk about the Nigerian team a little bit. So this tournament serves as some form of preparation for a much larger challenge ahead of them. Do you feel like this is enough?
It's never enough. It's never enough. But maybe I'll look at it from a different perspective. I'll say, are you maximizing what you have? And I think credit to the Nigerian Cricket Federation. This tournament was not on the books a month ago, and they've been able to come up with this in short notice, put together such a wonderful tournament. Ahead of the qualifiers in Namibia next month. So, yeah, it's always never enough, really. But I would say if I look at what they have, it's not bad. It's not bad with what they've done. Yeah.
That's correct. And on that note, we should say a big thank you to the sponsors. So Dafabet, Sparko, and a lot more others.
Absolutely, Tayo. Any supporter of cricket is always very much appreciated, and we're very grateful for the opportunity. Playing in total, I would say each team is going to play 9 games, and just trying to remember my permutations and combinations. That's 9 plus 8 plus 7 plus 6, right? So that gives us, I tell you, you have to help me with my maths here. 17 plus 7 is 24. That's 30 games, and then you have the final and the
30
third
plus
place.
games.
Yeah, 30 plus games, and that's fantastic, really. Yeah.
So, Sean, you and I have talked, a lot about different ways to improve cricket in Nigeria, in the subcontinent, on the continent. Beyond international cricket, do you think that there's anything to be had, any way that these teams can sort of cross or intermingle and play cricket? So in my mind, I'll tell you what I'm thinking. So I'm thinking a West African club championships, a West African IPL. Do you see any chances of that happening?
Do I see any chances of that happening? I would say it's possible. It's possible. When I look at Lagos, the cricket league in Lagos today, it's got all that it needs to metamorphosize into a West African tournament or a championship, like you call it. Um, I'm aware that some of the Ghanaian team players play in the league today. I'm also aware that a few of the Sierra Leoneans will be coming to play in the league this year. It's already there. It's just how do we then put together a proper package around it and ensure that it's competitive, and we also broadcast it to the world to see the talent that we have in Africa, in West Africa.
Right. There's a lot of cricket between now and the end of first quarter of 2024. I understand that the All Africa Games in Accra have cricket as well,
Yes.
or maybe the first time ever.
Ever. Yeah.
Um, what are your thoughts?
Well, I think that's the beauty of T20. I think the time lapse of the T20 tournament allows it to fit into a lot of schedules. And I think that's also why the ICC is pushing that T20 at the senior men's level. Prior to now, you can imagine playing 50 overs in the All African Games. They would have to extend the games by about 2 months just to accommodate accommodate the games. But yeah, it's beautiful. It shows that cricket is being widely accepted. Also, as a sport to watch, and for me, I'll take any positive. These are beautiful games.
The ICC are bent on making this a global sport, and they're doing everything possible. Back to the game. Ball before this one, we saw short, fast bouncer to
Ura?
John Bangura. I will follow that up with a slower one. Um, do you sense some frustration with the man? He faced 19 balls now, even though he's only scored 9 runs.
Well, I think if I look at where his team is, I don't really see. I don't think he has an option than to just make sure he stays there right now. He's got to anchor this game, like we talked about. It's an opportunity. I would take being in the center over. It's just a beautiful opportunity to always be in the center. I enjoy. I just love it. If I'm looking at it from my own perspective, I just want to enjoy the game. I see it as a session, a batting session.
Right.
If we're looking at it mathematically, it's almost impossible.
Yep. Take the positive. And he's a very intelligent man, and you just
Yes.
see him drive one down the ground for a single on the last ball of the over again, which means he maintains the strike at the start of the next over. I think it's only a matter of time before we see the spinners from Nigeria.
Yes, I totally agree with you. I think for me, playing out 20 overs should be the first checkpoint. If you're talking about short-term goals, as we take it innings, that's the first goal I would set for myself. And Bangura's got 10 runs, 20 balls, strike rate of 50. Not where we want it to be for a T20 game, but considering the circumstances, I think it's forgivable and
Understandable.
understandable. Yes, it is. Peter Orr comes back to bowl from the pavilion end. guess the captain's thinking is that if medium pace is not going to do it, then let's
the
pace
express
do
in.
it. Yeah. Lovely shot by Bangura again. Just tapping it down. Um, I can say that that's probably the most played shot in cricket now. Joe Root plays that a lot. A lot of just the pressure reliever.
Yes, especially really quick bowlers. You don't have a lot of time. You can dab it down third man and get off strike.
But then he's put George in front of the firing line. Can he survive 5 balls from Peter?
Gets off the hook, leg by.
I think Peter's probably wasted that chance. I'm sure he probably would not be happy with himself. 5 good balls, 5 opportunities
At the tail ender.
at the tail ender. Probably drifting down the leg just slightly.
This Nigeria team, they have this crop of talent right now that is just absolutely impressive. They're able to leave Ademola Onikoyi on the bench today. They have Isaac Danladi, they have Ashmit, they have Onwuzulike, who haven't even made the squad for this tournament, and a number of other young talent that's just knocking on the doors. Excellent job by Steve Tikolo, I think, as well at the helm.
Yeah, I would say excellent job by the federation. The focus has been on the development, and definitely that's beginning to pay dividends. A lot of these young guys, you see that started with the program to have a developmental coach in each region, and also the impact is that you begin to see coaches, international coaches like Asanka, coming in here, setting goals for the players, giving them a different mindset and an approach to the game. That's been followed up by Coach Tikolo now. And so, yes, we're clearly on the right trajectory, and we're hopeful that, we somehow, cricket would overtake football in this country, in my lifetime. Let's hope.
Amen to that. And also Nigeria has been playing a big brother role to some of the other West African countries. Ghana is getting some support, I'm told, towards the All Africa Games, both from Nigeria and the ICC, I should say.
That's very true. And, like they say, rising tide lifts all ship. And we're hopeful that as we develop the game in our region, from a cost perspective, I want to see Nigeria, Ghana, just the way Kenya and Uganda become very good rivals. They've pushed each other, they've developed each other, they've challenged each other. We're hoping that, we can have that across the West African region.
All right. You mentioned Kenya and Uganda in East Africa. This tournament, even though it's the West Africa Trophy, as an East African team participates in, Rwanda has made giant strides in their development over the last few years. Good enough that they are now able to mix it with, Nigeria, Ghana, Sierra Leone, and the Gambia.
Absolutely. I think you and I were in Rwanda last year for a friendly tour.
Yep.
And it's just wonderful to visit Rwanda and play cricket at the fantastic cricket oval. Trying to remember the name now.
The Gahanga.
Yes, the Gahanga cricket oval. It's just beyond cricket. It goes beyond cricket, I must say. And they've done a very good job in attracting attention to cricket in Africa. They always one country that once you say there's a tournament, they are always available, and I think that's that just goes to show the commitment of not just the leadership of cricket there, but also of the funds providers, which would probably come from the from a larger, broader government area. So yes, good job to Rwanda for joining us and being a part of this tournament.
Shemili is back from the Court of Appeal end. The two quicks are here.
Yes.
40 for 8 after 12.1. Projected score 66. Not what you expect from a T20 international, but Sierra Leone will take it right now.
Very true. And again, it just goes to show that just a little bit of application, and this score would be a better reflection of the effort by the Sierra Leonean team. We could see we started talking at 20-something for 8. Now, just a couple of overs gone, and the team is on 40 for 8. So, yeah, it's not as difficult as it seems. All credit to the Nigerian bowlers for bowling in the right areas and the fielders for taking the ball. But I think the Sierra Leonean batsmen have a lot of reflecting to do.
Yeah, I mean, I think that the major turning point in the game was that Taiwo Mohammed hat-trick over.
Yes, sure.
It could easily have been a different outcome. Now credit to Nigeria for taking their chances. It goes in the air, gets taken, no drop catches. The fielding has been excellent. It's good pressure that they've brought.
Absolutely, and I understand the captain's perspective, which is, if I can wrap this up quickly, then let me come with my pace bowlers to do that as soon as I can. So yes, I can appreciate him bringing back his top bowlers to try and wrap this up.
But John Bangura is a tough customer, so they're targeting George Sese.
Oh, the slower ball does the trick again. Lovely thinking by the young man. Quick bowling, and then, just slows that down. Although I would have deposited that slower ball at mid-wicket, though, if I were the one batting.
40 for 9 in 12.5. Sierra Leone on the brinks.
I'm sure you could see that slow ball all the way from Abuja, Tayo. You could have picked that one up all the way from Abuja.
As a bowler myself, I would like to say that was very well bowled.
Yes, indeed. Very well. I think the fact that he thought about it, the execution, and also the support from the fielding side, we've got to give credit to the team because he's done something different, and he's gotten the result for it. Yeah. So good thinking by Dekwe.
Good thinking shows planning.
Absolutely.
But there's all planning without execution is nothing. So great work on the execution. I think that this team has a lot of leaders, a lot of talented, experienced people, and I can see how some of that experience is being transferred to the younger guys.
Absolutely. Credit to the batsman. He tried to hang in there, but unfortunately that slower ball was just too enticing, and he just took a bite of it. And
it's just the type you bowl to a number 10.
Well, very, very true. Very true.
Speaking of tailenders, Chenobak walks in. He had a torrid time yesterday. Couldn't get off strike. Couldn't middle the ball. Let's see if today's different.
Ooh.
Flicks.
Had some quick bowling down the leg side.
Wide ball down the leg side. Chimele, pace, swing. What direction was lacking this time?
Absolutely. The young man is clearly, I would say the fastest bowler that I've seen in the Nigerian circle for a while. It's just extremely quick. But there's still some area work to do in terms of the direction of that pace. Becoming more effective as a bowler. That's where we see strike rate improve, and also cut down the extras. There's been quite a number of them in this tournament. At a higher level, he may not get away so easily with some very class batsmen. We will love it on the pads, and we'll just clip him down mid-wicket or fine leg.
Yeah, pace on the middle stump, just shipping towards leg. You're just going to be helped over fine leg or deep square.
Just looking at the figures, the bowling figures, Udekwe Chimele, 3 overs, 14 dot balls, 8 runs, 1 wicket, economy of 2.6, Peter Howe, 2 overs, 5 dot balls, 10 runs. No wicket yet. Economy of 5. Isaac Okpe and Taiwo Mohammed both 4 overs, 3 and 4 wickets respectively. And they've cleaned out the middle order of the Sierra Leonean team.
They've made it look easy.
Absolutely, they've made it look easy. It's a Sunday afternoon stroll, I would say. Still in the morning, that's how easy it looked.
and the first spinner from the Nigerian side has the ball now, bowling to John Bangura, pavilion end.
Real one Abdul Karim, one of the very young, promising prospects in Nigeria. The leg spinner has a googly that comes in every now and then. And a fantastic fielder. He's taking wonderful catches this tournament so far.
Question for you, Sean. On the scale of 1 to 10, how difficult is leg spin as an art?
I've always said Tamino is here next to me. Tamino has always he's tried it once or twice. I've never tried it. I just thought it was almost impossible, but I know Tamino bowled a bit of leg spin. So Tamino, maybe I'll hand over the mic to you to answer that question.
Thank you, Mr. Shewa Deko. Leg spin, one of the most difficult act of the game in bowling. It's very, very difficult to bowl. Trust me, you have little rooms for errors. Little rooms for errors. Once it's shot, definitely you know it's going to be wide away from the batter. And that's the boundary shot for you, except if the batter is just trying to play himself in. Unlike the off spin that comes into the batsman. If it's short, it can cut in sharper into the batsman and give the batsman a bit of kind of worry. So on the scale of 1 to 10, I would tell you, Mr. Tayo, leg spin. I prefer you go to the off spin.
Yeah.
Thank you.
A few years ago, I should say, a couple of years ago when Ruwan was making his debut for Nigeria, his T20 international debut for Nigeria, I looked up the stats, and 3 of the top 10 wicket takers in T20 eyes were leg spinners.
Yeah, I think it's. I would say most of the batsmen are right-handed batsmen, and having the ball turned from your blind spot into your bat, it goes against your natural flow of the bat, which is coming from gully all the way to mid-wicket, as most of us are sluggers. So, so I think that then provides an opportunity for an edge, and so especially in the T20 form, where there's more pressure to score runs. But like we've seen, even the great Shane Warne, I remember the ball he bowled to the English batsman, captain, that spun all the way from the rough outside the leg stump, So leg spinners for me have always been difficult. And even some of the great batsmen like Virat Kohli, I think he's gotten out mostly to leg spinners. So yes, indeed. Once you get the act right, you have a great chance. A bit of medium pace now coming into the game. A run out chance here. Is it going to be out? Ooh. There's an appeal for obstructing the field there. That will be a first if given out. What do you think, Tayo? Do you think the batsman was aware?
No, that was not out. He just inadvertently ran into the line of the ball.
Yeah. I'm not sure Ba was excited about the prospect of
the ball hitting him there.
Of facing. But yeah.
Akeri Isesele, one of the newer members of the team.
Not a promising all-rounder.
Promising all-rounder has kept Chimezie Onzulike out of the side this time around.
I think I can appreciate the direction of the team, especially when you look at some of the innings that this young man had at the last tournament in Rwanda, Kigali. Tearing apart Ghana. That's one of the most exciting innings I think I've seen by a Nigerian in a while. There was total command of his strokes.
Yep.
And I recall you and I talking about it, and I was saying, I'd seen this boy bat. This
Yep.
boy can bat, and you're like, are you sure? Are you sure? And after that game, you actually said,
I
I
did
agree with you.
I did see him bat, and I was convinced.
Yeah.
I'm now a convert.
Oh, outside edge.
Outside edge,
Is this going to go around? Yeah, that's going to be 4 runs.
4 runs.
Yeah.
Sean, there's a question for you. I've been getting a few messages, and one person in particular is asking me to ask you, what does TCCL mean?
All right. So TCCL is the Cricketers Club of Lagos. It's founded in 2022. And I guess a few of us have come together to form a club that is very similar to what the Marylebone Cricket Club today. A chance.
Chance. What a
Wonderful
catch.
Wonderful catch.
What a catch.
Wonderful catch to wrap up the innings.
The fielding has been excellent today.
Absolutely. Not a single drop chance.
Not a single, and they have not all been easy catches.
Very true.
49 all out in 14.5. 52 win for Nigeria. Walk in the park, do you think?
Well, I would say yes. 49 for 9 is not where. Well, 49 all out rather is not where what the Sierra Leonean team would have wanted to put on the scoreboard this morning. In 14, not even utilizing the overs, 14.5, leaving it's like leaving money on the table. So yeah, I'm not sure they will be. I'm sure there's a lot they need to tell themselves.
Match summary, the better performers: John Bangura, 17 of 28. Taiwo Mohammed with a hat-trick, 4 for 13 in 4 overs. Isaac Okwe, wonderful bowling, 3 for 8 in 4. Chemele, 1 for 8 in his 3 overs. 49 all out in 14.5. Sierra Leone, sending Nigeria 50 to win.
Yeah. 50 to win. I think from a Nigerian perspective, I think they need to use this as an opportunity to set themselves some targets. At this point, when you have a low total like this, you're basically playing against yourself. And therefore, you have to look at it and say, do we want to wrap it up in 5 overs? Do we want to wrap it up in 10 overs? Do we want to not lose any wickets? How many wickets can we lose? How do we want to approach the game? Do we see it as an opportunity to give a few of our guys the chance to open the batting and then also explore, all those options? And this is a preparatory tournament for the championship in Namibia, and the qualifiers in Namibia next month. So yeah, this gives the Nigerian team a good chance to experiment, and hopefully, I don't see. I've defended the total like this before, but considering the odds, I don't see it happening. So
Yeah.
So
we will be back, Sheon, to continue the conversation about TCCL. But for now, end of the innings, we'd like to thank the sponsors, Dafabet, SPORTSBOX, Sparkle, the Nigeria Cricket Federation for putting this together. We'll be back at the start of the next innings.
sponsor. Yes, we're back for the second innings of match 5, day 9 of the West Africa Trophy, sponsored by Dafabet. We can't thank you enough for giving us quality cricket matches to see, which is also a preparatory game for Nigeria and Rwanda as they head straight to the final qualifier in Windhoek, Namibia, where 7 countries will be jostling for 2 spots for the T20 World Cup in 2024 that will be hosted by West Indies and United States of America. The first inning saw highlights. Captain George Edward Ngbeba won the toss and elected to bat, and they scored 49 runs all out. And you want to say the 4 and 9 has a significance. 4 for the number of teams that are participating at this tournament, and 9 for the match 9. So 4 and 9. What a sheer coincidence. Nigeria has got a target of 50. Like they say, the usual suspects are opening batting again for Team Nigeria. Usually it comes from the position of the striker, Sulaiman Rushewe. Second in batting to Hamza Khan. But the only player in this tournament to play from ball 1 to the final ball, where he scored 79 runs not out against this same side on October 5, 2023. Once again, we are glad to have Oluwaseun Odeku, former Nigerian international, former captain of GCI, back at the commentary box. He was telling us about something about TCL or something. He will share it with us. Maybe opportunity beckons for Cheun to tell us about what that TCL. You only said like minds coming together.
Thank you very much, Jidagba, and happy to be back here. Second innings, Nigeria needing 50 to win this game. And Sise opening the bowling, another young, quick bowler who was fantastic at the recently concluded under 19 World Cup qualifier in Tanzania. Reminds me of West Indies duo of Cotley Ambrose. It's tall, slim, menacing quick bowlers. Clearly still a lot to learn from what we've seen, but no doubt the talent and the pace. Just to go back to the TCCL, which is the Cricketers Club of Lagos that we're talking about. The TCCL is a social cricket club that we formed, not a playing cricket club, more of a social cricket club, similar to maybe the Marylebone Cricket Club. And there are 3 primary objectives that we want to achieve. One is to go on social tours across Africa to spread the game of cricket, playing teams across Africa. Second is more from a social responsibility angle, ensuring that cricketers beyond cricket are well-rounded. So there's the extra cover bit, which is ensuring that beyond the cricket talent, young men and women get the right education at the school level, and also are able to then progress to do other things once they finish their cricket playing careers. And the third is ultimately to own a facility of us by ourselves, a world-class cricket facility somewhere in Nigeria. And we're hopeful that, because we have like-minded people who love the game of cricket, who are retired now from playing, we hope we can achieve these things.
Thank you very much. Great start for Sulaiman Rushewe. Before now, he's 7 runs short of Hamza Khan, the man who is making his debut for the Rwandan national team, who is on 113 runs. And TCCL quickly is an acronym?
Yes, it's the Cricketers Club of Lagos.
Okay.
I recall, you know, there was a time we taught under the Hausa Cricket Federation development program then, under Passerella Olisa Eguatu, who is fondly known as Passerella, and Dr. Mike Ayivo. We had gone on a tour to London then. We're just barely 19 years old, and I recall we were hosted in a restaurant called the Cricketers Club of London. So we thought it was, you know, we should come together and put together a similar institution in Nigeria. So that was 4 no balls there.
No ball for even the 4. That's not where George Sese wants to be.
Well, when you look at what you have in the bank, that's a very expensive extra. It's even more expensive when you're defending 50. Free hits.
Change in wicket keeping. Today, John Bangura is not keeping the wicket. Yegbe Jalo has been saddled with that responsibility.
I recall the ball hitting Bangura on the mouth in the last game.
Something is wrong somewhere. Sulaiman always getting out in the first over. In the last 3 matches, he's been having that consistency. The first one, he went out for 4 runs, and that was against Ghana. The next one, he went out for 6 runs against Rwanda yesterday. Today, he's out in the first over against Sierra Leone. Something is definitely wrong somewhere.
Well, I think it's clearly misread the flight of that ball. If I recall, this is the second time he's getting out to exactly that shot. You know, against Ghana, he had a similar, attempted to paddle sweep a similar ball, and you know, he missed it completely. And so he needs to work on that. Not a bad intention, you know, but clearly he's missing the flight of that ball somewhere along the line. And that's how, you know, that ball wrapped him up, wrapped him LBW. Clearly a full toss. Applying a full face on that shot, probably have sent it down straight down the wicket to the mid-off boundary.
They are overachieving. They needed less than 3 runs per over, and they've gotten what is required for 4 overs in just 1 over. But unfortunately, I need you to attempt this question for me, Sheung. While we know Akere Isesele has just come to join Daniel Ajeku in the batting crease, does he need a psychologist to speak to him? Because every time he goes in now to bat, he'll be wary of that first over. He will think that if I can get through this first over, I might have a good day in the batting crease.
Well, I know that there's a role of sports psychologists now.
That's what I studied.
Do I think it's an issue just yet? You know, I doubt it. I think, considering the fact that he's basically gotten himself out on those occasions, he's got to work on. It's just a question of the strokes. I think it's if the bowlers were on top of him in terms of getting him out in those first overs, I would say then clearly maybe we can begin to consider that. But when I look at the way he's gone out in the first over, he's gifted his wickets by maybe not timing the strokes well or not playing those strokes well. So yes, he just needs to apply himself, if you ask me, and then we can revisit the thoughts of a sports psychologist later on.
This man coming from the pavilion end for the second over of this game, Miniro Paka, had joy against Nigeria on October 19, 2021, which was a Tuesday.
Oh,
Yeah.
dropped chance.
Yes,
A drop chance.
and that was from
And
the
shot
captain.
goalie.
Yeah,
Mine. You know, when you're chasing just 49, 50 runs to win, there is a risk of complacency. And I hope that we're not seeing that. Lovely shot. Misfield
from Aruno.
from Arino. Giving the Nigerian team 1 run and getting the Sicily off the mark. Welcome 1 run for him, I would say.
The man striking now, Oluwaseun is the man that has played the longest innings for Nigeria. Daniel Ajekun.
Yeah, I think Ajekun's it's been in there, but I think there's when you look at the T20 from a T20 perspective, there's something about his strike rate. Oh, wonderful shot through covers for 4. Wonderful shot by Ajekun. Just a slight push on the ball, upish, playing it on the up, injecting the ball into space. There was a risk there that if you had just come slightly to the left, it could have been caught by covers, but take no credit away from that wonderful timing of the shot by Ajekun.
And if Ajekun continues to remain in the batting crease, he might just usurp his partner in batting, Sulaiman Runshewe.
Wow, well left there, bowling outside the off. I think if there's anything I want to see from Ajekun as just to up that strike a bit. Yesterday, a strike rate of 50 wasn't the most exciting. I think for T20, I think the minimum strike rate should be 100. Yeah, I know they got the job done.
He's doing the 100 for you.
Yes, he's doing the 100 today, and I want him to keep it at that. Because when you look at what is expected at other levels, especially for Namibia World Cup qualifier, you can't. You've got to go above 100. Yeah.
All right, after this over, we shall be hearing another voice. Yours truly will be stepping aside. But just to put it into proper context, Daniel Agekum, he had to tell me that my name is Agekum. My father is from Ghana. My mom is a Nigerian, but I chose to play for Nigeria. He's already on 104
runs in total. Absolutely.
When you add the 6 to the 98 he has. I'm very poor at mathematics, but I think I can still do a bit.
Another T catch by Sesele Akiri. Clearly, the gods are on the side today. What do you say?
The Bini gods. They simply respond by saying he said. I'm talking about Benin. That's one fantastic place to also play the game of cricket. They've got 2 tough wickets in that place. Development is really taking shape in Benin. The female national team of Nigeria, the female Yellow Greens, usually have their training in Benin. They have an high performance, and you can see for Nigeria, while the Sierra Leoneans were batting in the first over, they only had 3 runs, but for Nigeria they had 12. In the second over, we both had 6-6. We are just in the third over.
Brief pause in the game. Umpires are concerned about one of the adverts on the pitch, and that's been addressed currently. Hopefully the play can resume. When we look at the run rate Nigeria clearly on 18 runs per over for now. And if we're to go by that, sorry, I beg your pardon, Nigeria is 18 runs in 2 overs. And if we're to go by that, the expectation is that we should be wrapping up this game in 6 to 7 overs, all things being equal.
Yes, once this is taken out, that iconic monument for Nigeria, where the British system of government was changed to the Nigerian system of government, Sir Abubakar Tafawa Balewa, former Prime Minister, and of course Obafemi Awolowo. I wish I can see that. I'm only seeing the eagle, and that's why you talk about Nigeria, the football team, they always say Super Eagles, that we can fly, we can soar.
A little known fact, well, I don't think it's a little known fact, but it's an interesting fact for those watching, and this is one of the ways you know the senior experienced cricketers. Ghana, Gambia, Sierra Leone and Nigeria used to play as West Africa, similar to the West Indies. Quite a lot of people don't know that, but that used to be the way we represent ourselves at the World Cup. A wonderful and fantastic view of the cricket pitch, of the cricket oval. Just lovely shots showing where the TBS is situated, very next to the Atlantic Ocean, bordering just Victoria Island. You can see the lovely presence, lovely pitch. This reminds me of Colombo in Sri Lanka. Wonderful pictures coming in from the media crew. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Ibrahim Kamara is coming from the Court of Appeal end.
One run, could be 2 if they push it.
And they want to, but Akere is unwilling.
Akele, you know, like they say when our coaches used to tell us then, run the first one fast. And I don't think Akere did that in this case. I recall that's one of the things Kohli, I listened to Kohli and he says, you know, he just enjoys taking 2 runs. That for him, if he's able to do a lot of 2 runs in a 20 overs game, that just goes to show that that's one thing he's working on. So if the great Virat Kohli is still, you know, very excited about his running between wickets, I think Akere needs to up that part of his game because I would say that's an easy 2. And they say runs at the end of the day, 1 run like we saw with Ghana and Rwanda, 1 run matters a lot.
Absolutely well encapsulated, and you put it nicely, Seun Odeku. And just yesterday, when Ghana won their game against Sierra Leone, Godfred Bakiwayem, who scored 41 or 40 balls, had just 1 6. That means he ran most of it with his legs.
Absolutely, running between the wickets is very critical, especially with the bowlers getting very, very smart and bowling to their field nowadays. You know, cricket has almost become a kind of chess game where, you know, bowlers they are so accurate nowadays, and they place their fields in places where they know they're going to get hit. So you have to learn to push those singles. You have to learn to run and, you know, beat the system. Akere trying to, you know, make the scoreboard tick by just pushing around. I'm a bit biased to the approach that the Nigerian team have adopted. You know, I would have said this is an opportunity for them to have, you know, I want to see the power play eaten, you know, striking the ball cleanly, you know, going over the top. Especially in this power play overs, because, you know, you've got a total that gives you that opportunity to express yourself. And so, I can appreciate the fact that they want to just keep the scoreboard ticking. But as a cricket fan, we want to see some serious eating of the ball. Or what do you think?
Absolutely. What I think is what is showing on your screen. George Sese, the only man that has gotten a wicket. And talk about someone who should be able to explain better the importance of taking advantage of the power play that Seun Odeku spoke about, which is the first 6 over. Is a seasoned coach with the national team of Nigeria. And of course, one of the finest cricketers back then. But these days, I don't think he can score runs to save his life. But he can talk the talk. Tamuna John, the microphone locates you.
Thank you so much, Ajidagba. Honestly, has been a pleasure working with you on the Combox. Mr. Seun.
Hi, Tamno. Good to be doing this again. I remember days in Surulere Lansing, and we've come a long way in this game, I believe. You and I, from the developmental stages to the junior levels. Oh, 4 runs. Lovely covers drive and a fantastic fielding. But would that be 4 runs or just be 2 runs? We wait to see. That's 4 runs. The umpires declared 4 runs already. Lovely attempt by George Sese. Unfortunately, he was unable to stop the ball.
So it's nice to see cricketers declaring boundaries when it was actually boundary, especially when the eyes of the umpires are not in that area. The spirit of the game is very important, and we can see that in this play so far.
Absolutely, Tamno, and we don't yet have the privilege of using the third umpire to check. So more importantly, like they say and like we were taught, cricket means fair, and cricket is a gentleman's game. Although people say played by a bunch of hooligans, but
one of the things that you're going to be hearing from cricketers is how sincere the game is.
Lovely stop. Yeah.
There's a lot of value that is placed in the game, and we don't never want to let that slip away when it comes to coaching.
Yes. Absolutely. And I think for me, it's as you coach the game, we coach the values also.
That's right, sure.
And that's really important. I found that, I work in the professional service sector now. Quite a lot of things I learned from cricket. It's very applicable to the work I do every day. More importantly, team spirit, teamwork, and also, just going that extra mile, and the reward of, cricket rewarding you for just you working alone and doing the things you need to do right. Yeah,
you're right. It has a lot of way of giving you that edge in any sector you find yourself outside the cricket pitch because of its morals and standards. Seun, just at the back of this TBS pitch, your alma mater, your secondary school, King's College, Lagos. I mean, it used to be fun when you play here those days. Although we always look forward in hitting the boundaries when we come to TBS, seeing ourselves as youngsters those days. But as the time goes on, we grew to understand that innings are built.
Absolutely.
Innings are built. Yes.
Absolutely, Tamino. I think that's the maturity that comes with the game. Being able to ignore the scoreboard pressure. Being able to craft an innings, recognizing that, it's a game of numbers, and sometimes the way you approach the game from ball one, when you have 10 wickets, may not necessarily be the same way you approach it when you are 5 wickets down. Just because you can easily clear the field does not mean you should clear the field, depending on the situation of the field, of the game.
You're right, Mr. Seun. Also, I would like to instigate this into the viewers, and if you're watching this game online and offline, that tactical awareness of the game cannot be taken away as you grow older in the game. Player ability to know what time to hit the boundaries,
what time, and most importantly, keeping your eyes at the score, because the approach of the game requires not just hitting the ball, it requires the circumstances behind each ball that is being bowled at the same time, in as much as you want the runs. And also, sometimes when we play this game, in our own little way, we used to have this little say, play to instructions and wait for instructions also. There are two different things. When we play to instruction, maybe you're being instructed to keep your head when you go in for the first 10 overs. You don't want to take anything risky, you just keep pushing around. But ability to know what to do outside the instruction is very important.
Absolutely, Tamino, and I can imagine our coach at the under-19 level would just be listening to you now and laughing and saying, but I told Tamino and Sheon these things, and yet they didn't do it when they were playing for me. I think it's interesting how an understanding of the game comes as you mature with playing. Yeah. Some of these things our coaches tried to tell us when we were younger, but we then began to appreciate it more as we played the game, and we can't take those years back, unfortunately.
Sure, we definitely can't take that back. I can remember in my early days when batting at the center, I just have this blood rush of I must hit a boundary at least in an over to just make me feel like I'm doing well.
Absolutely, and I think I recall playing with you and against you, even at the National Stadium, Surulere.
Oh my God.
You used to delight in just dumping the ball outside the boundary, but
it's always a pleasure to do that here at that young age. You don't want to get much instructions into your head, and there's just a spirit behind it when you're batting. Just go and hit.
Absolutely.
And when you actually get bored, that's when you now realize that I wouldn't have gone for that particular shot.
Absolutely. I think now I would say my matured age, still playing a bit of club cricket, and that's what I try to advise when I play with the younger guys. There's a time and a season for everything. Sometimes we ask ourselves, how many runs do we want to take off this over, and that helps us to set short-term goals. Those short-term goals guide our decision making as we play this game.
You're right.
And you find out that a lot of young guys don't have those short-term goals. They just, they just want to play,
You're right.
And they find out that then there's a ball they shouldn't have gone at. They go at it, and then they're back in the pavilion analyzing the game from there.
All right, end of over. The Nigerian side need 13 runs to win off 90 balls. As simple as ABC. Mr. Sheon, tell me, if you are the center batting at this moment, will you rather open up, or you will just keep your calm and just let the game goes that way?
Well, I think for me, my first goal as a batsman, if I have a total like this, is I can't afford to lose my wicket. And the team should not lose the wicket. We're chasing 49 runs, looking at 50.
Yes.
We're on 37. There is no reason for us to lose our wicket. Second thing is also, it's an opportunity. Like I say, every time you're in the center, it's an opportunity to improve. What do I want to work on? What do I want to improve on? If the ball is there, do I want to, I'm still going to set a target, right?
Definitely.
I'm not just going to say, I'm going to settle for singles.
Definitely.
If the short ball, I want to hit it. I want to strike it cleanly. But at the same, for me, I just don't want to lose the wicket. Yeah.
You're right. The partnership of Akere and Ajego has put up 25 runs and 26 balls, and that's a good strike rate, Mr. Sheon. As you see the game going, just keep watching, and we're enjoying what is going on. We've not seen too much of big shots, but we've seen a bit of clean shots down the boundaries, and that is something I really want to commend. It's not, they're not looking too explosive, but then the runs are taken.
Well, I've not seen those clean shots, to be very honest.
I've seen a few from Dana
yes.
in the covers area. It's about 3 on the ground. Clean shot,
yes.
And hit the band. For me, that's excellent.
I do agree with you. For me, I want to see those balls being dumped on our commentary box here.
So one thing about the tournament, sometimes the tournament organizers will just pick a spot and name it a particular name and say if the batters can hit it to that spot, there's a prize being given to them. And
Sure.
I think we would like to see that in other recent
Yeah,
games
we can
as well.
explore that. I think it's a good opportunity to bring in more entertainment into the game.
It just gives the batter something like an extra job to do to earn, you know.
Oh yeah, I recall there was a test I watched, South Africa, Australia. I can't quite remember whether it was the Wanderers or it was in Cape Town, and Adam Gilchrist. He had destroyed South Africa. It got to a point. There was actually, like you said, there was a sign. There was a particular area where the broadcasters had put a sign there that if a batsman should hit the ball there, they would get a certain prize money. And Adam Gilchrist, this was a test game, and Adam Gilchrist started trying to eat it in the middle of the game. That was to show the extent to which they demolished South Africa.
Well, it takes a lot of confidence and, you know.
Oh, wonderful shot. Wonderful shot. 2 runs. Beautiful running by Cecile. Yeah, I think he must have heard me the last time.
I know, Sean, you've been craving for those clean shots, like you said, and you're definitely your weakness in some from Akere also. So shot, nice shot. So like you said, you're talking about the special sport around the boundary area for the batters, and also these days in IPL and all format of the game, I think they try to put some prize on catches from fans, you know.
Absolutely.
This does add a bit of spices to the game, like, so that everybody being entertained at the same time. Maybe earn a few, you know, that will save you for the next ticket for any match that's yet to come.
Absolutely. I think I recall it was in, is it Australia or New Zealand, where if you take a one-handed catch, in the stands, you get a prize for it, and unfortunately, our stands is not as packed as Australia and New Zealand. I'm envisioning that one day those stands will be packed. I just close my eyes and I look at the stands right now, and they're filled with people. So once we get those numbers in, I'm sure we will then consider those kind of rewards right now. Game is almost looking like it's coming to a close. A very quick and early lunch for the production team. 8 needed of 84 balls. I bet I could pull up my Nigerian jersey and score these runs. What do you think?
Shewa, I know you will definitely love to come back to the game, but not at this format. Allow the young men to enjoy their game. They put up a partnership of 30 runs and 30 balls, and this is what we look forward to see in partnerships.
Sure. Absolutely. And I think credit to the Sierra Leonean team. The body language is not being one of hopelessness. They've still approached the game with seriousness, even though they're defending a small total. There's always that temptation to have your mind in the shower room once a team is nearing your target. We've all been there when the total is never enough.
You're right.
And it can be a tough, wonderful back foot drive by Ajerkun to long off.
It's end of power play. I was thinking that this game would have ended earlier on, but it's not bad the way they've been pushing the balls, the runs ball by ball, and still keeping their counts. I think the most interesting part of this game so far is the fact that they've not lost any careless wicket apart from the first one. Absolutely,
and I'm sure the coach would have set a target for them. 6 runs needed in 82 balls. It's been clinical, we have to say, from Nigeria. It's been very clinical. We don't. I think if we look at the scores and the game so far, looks like Nigeria is a notch ahead of all the other teams, right? And that is just is showing. But what would you say if you were the coach of the Sierra Leonean team? What would you tell your team after this?
There's a part of the game that we always use as an excuse. Sometimes we always say it's a bad day in the office. There's sometimes in the game where you do everything positive and everything right, but then the result comes the other way around, and you'll be like, what have I not told my players? By that point in time, you really don't need to hit hard at them. I'm sure they knew what has happened and what they've not done right. So we just let them relax and come back stronger, hopefully. Maybe a day off after so much game, we do a difference when it comes to situations like that.
Absolutely. The Ghanaian team arriving for the second game today, Ghana versus Rwanda. We are stay tuned for another fantastic game. Ghana and Rwanda, they've always given us fantastic tight games. You know, it's like they're brothers who are fighting over. You know, I can't recall having watched the dull game between those two.
It's nice, you know.
Yeah.
It's always nice to watch them, you know. It's always nice to watch them, and they'll be coming shortly to our screen.
It's interesting, you know, Tamina, when you were talking about team performance, I felt you were the coach, assistant coach of the under-19 team.
You're right.
You know, speaking, I could almost hear you being empathetic, you know, knowing what exactly the coach is feeling, considering, you know, the way the boys performed at the under-19 tournament in Tanzania. So you're speaking from experience, if I'm to say.
Sure, you are right. I tell you, there's no one else that can tell you this. After a wonderful warm-up preparatory tournament, you know, guys spent 20 days in India, in Mumbai specifically, in a very lovely institute called Umtex. Looking so good. We played 10 games. We lost most of the games, not because we are not good enough, but because the level of cricket we played there was really, really high. We have two Mumbai Indian players who is their feeders team played against us in those trial matches over there. It was interesting. Came back looking so strong. Went to Rwanda to have some games. We defeated the side from the Rwandan. About 5 games we won 4 and lost 1 to them. Looking all good. Then we went into the tournament and
I can still feel the pain as you're talking, Tamino, and you know it was a painful experience for the team. But I'm sure that, like we say, experience is the best teacher. We will learn from it as a country and as a team.
You're right.
Oh man, is this going to be the end of the game? A misfield at covers, and that brings up the 2 runs needed to wrap up the game. Early lunch, early showers, early end to the broadcast.
Well, we'd like to say a big thank you to Dafabet, who has made this possible for us, and also to the media crew who has been behind the scene. You know, sometimes you are quickly to forget every part of the game. Those who have done so much to make sure we have great views. So we say a very big thank you to them, and we are not leaving the groundsmen out of this also.
Absolutely.
Their effort would have been to give us standard pitch without no complaint from any team so far in the tournament. This is wonderful.
Absolutely, absolutely. Interesting and classical execution from the Nigerian team, limiting the Sierra Leonean team to 49 all out in 14.5 overs, and Nigeria scoring the runs in just 7.1 overs.
Wonderful.
Again, fantastic thanks to everybody who's been involved in this production. It's been a wonderful pleasure being here and commentating with you, Tamino.
Thank you, Shehu. I also
at this point, we'll be going over to the presentation for the man of the match. Who do you think is the man of the match, Tamino?
Definitely the man who has hung there for long, and it's no other but the man who took 4 wickets from the Nigerian
Absolutely.
side. The lefty that was coming from the court appeal end. No other than Taiwo Mohammed. His figures are amazing. 4 wickets for 13 runs and 4 overs. Shane, what else do you want me to say?
4 wickets and a wonderful hat-trick. Not too many, not all bowlers have gotten hat-tricks in their careers.
You're right.
So when you get it, it's always a thing of pleasure.
I'm happy for this young man too, Shehu. He stayed at the academy in the High Performance Center in Johannesburg for 3 months. Has actually paid off in this tournament so far. Good investment from the Nigerian Cricket Federation.
Absolutely, absolutely. And you know, Sierra Leone has always been our arch rivals. So I can't help but take a parting shot at them. You know, you recall, Tamno, you were telling me that when the Sierra Leone under-19 team beat the Nigerian team in Tanzania,
yes,
they were just singing a song. Do you want to sing that song for us?
Oh, sure. I will.
1-2.
We are here at the Tafawa Balewa Cricket Oval venue for the West Africa Trophy, proudly sponsored by Dafabet. And you just saw match 9, day 5 of this competition, with Nigeria making it 5 out of 5, getting a 9-wicket victory over our opponents, the Sierra Leoneans. You say for Sierra Leone, they are still in search for their first victory at this tournament. But I'd like to invite the Sierra Leonean captain, George Edward Ungbeba. Edward, it will definitely come, but today is one of the days you want to forget in a hurry. What a bad day at the office. 49 all out, totally unacceptable. What can you make out of this performance?
The strategy we placed on today did not work for us. We still trust the process and we'll get there. Today was a bad day, and I believe we'll learn from it. We'll take a good lesson from this one and try not to repeat it again.
People back home at Freetown are expecting the first victory at this tournament. What are you promising your teaming fans back home?
We'll give them a victory. Nevertheless, we'll soon give them. That's what I can tell them for now.
Thank you very much.
Most welcome.
You just heard George Edward Ungbeba, the captain of the Sierra Leone team. We will give them a victory. We are trusting the process, and we are trusting our coach Mohamed Boys Kamara. Now we switch to the Nigerian captain Sylvester Okpe, who by now is over the moon with 5 over 5. Sylvester, absolutely dominant performance and the best we've seen of this Nigerian side. What do you owe this performance to?
Congrats to the guys. They really fought really well. They did the best they can, and the little things we've been practicing, and every little thing just came to play today. So kudos to the pace bowlers, especially for giving us this good performance.
How do you rate this competition as you prepare for the final qualifier in Namibia, Windhoek?
This is actually a good tournament for us, because it's helping us know where we are as a team and what areas we need to improve on, and know what we need to do to make our outing in Namibia better.
Thank you very much, Sylvester Okpe.
You're welcome.
You just heard from Sylvester Okpe, the captain of Nigerian team, saying this is a good preparatory match as we go to Namibia Windhoek. For the player of the match for match 9, day 5 of the West Africa Trophy, sponsored by Dafabet, shout out to the likes of Isaac Okpe, shout out to the likes of Daniel Agiekum. But unfortunately, the player of the match that will be presented by the third umpire, Ibrahim Kabia from Sierra Leone, goes to a player who took 4 wickets, 3 in 4 overs, and more importantly, an hat-trick to go along with it. Taiwo Muhammad. Taiwo Muhammad, 4 wickets for 13 runs, 1 maiden, including an hat-trick. Taiwo, how excited are you becoming the first player at the West Africa Trophy, proudly sponsored by Dafabet, to get an hat-trick?
I'm happy, obviously. You know, I feel like my teammates are also happy too, because we put in the hard work, and the hard work is finally paying off. Yeah.
Talking about hard work paying off, you were in South Africa in an academy. How has this rubbed off on your performance?
Obviously, you can tell because everybody's watching, and you know, we just keep being positive, and you know, yeah, that's it.
And you want to keep going on and on?
Yeah.
Congratulations once again, Taiwo.
Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, I just spoke with Taiwo Muhammad, the first player in the history of this competition to get an hat-trick. He had 4 wickets for 13 runs in 4 overs, including an hat-trick. This is the size of the package for match 9, day 5 of the West Africa Trophy. We will be back for match 10, day 5, where Ghana and Rwanda will hope to serve us the super over they gave us. My name is Oluwaseun Ajidagba from the Tafawa Balewa Cricket Oval. We are done.